I have a desire to make this YouTube channel much more vlog-esque, less well-produced videos, because it's just not my style and I never get around to making videos when I feel like they have to be perfect. So I'm going to try and keep this a lot more casual. So I'm just telling you what I'm doing right now. I'm going out to my garage, my RV garage, which will at some point, here it is, be turned into my full-time office. I'm going to come out here and do a little commentary on the video which you are about to watch. Guess what, everybody? I'm making a YouTube video. Okay, I want to discuss two things during this video. First off, I want to talk about obviously what you're watching and what tools I'm using, program, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. We'll get that out of the way quickly, and then you can just watch me draw. This is sped up 4 times the speed. So however long this video is, it actually took me 4 times as long to create this character illustration. So I want to talk about that first, and then I want to get into a little subject that I've been receiving questions about, which is how to get work as a freelance illustrator, how to get more client work. All right, so let's just get this out of the way. I'm using Clip Studio Paint. This is on an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil. They do now have an app for Clip Studio Paint. I love Clip Studio Paint. I'm not like sponsored by them, so I'm not going to make any money, but I love this program for illustration and comics making goodness. So check it out. I'm using a rough pencil tool right now with a bit of a purpley brown color. I dig the rough pencil for line work. I'm going to start doing the flatting. Then I'll get into changing the colors, adjusting that, and doing shading. I've done other videos where I talk more about the process, and I'll probably do more in the future. So I won't, that's not what this video is going to be about. Ooh, cough, cough, cough. This audio is certainly going to be super reverbery. The concrete floor of this RV garage is deliciously reverb heavy. So just enjoy the beautiful sound of reverb on my voice, because I'm not gonna tweak it. Okay, so how to find client work. This is a question I get asked a few times. I've been asked a number of times. I especially want to give a shout out to Curtis Hudson, who emailed me 2 years ago. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Curtis. And I told him that I'd love to respond to his email in a YouTube video. Yeah, okay, this is it. Check out Curtis Hudson. He's doing great work. And yeah, also Jake Croft, he emailed me more recently from the UK with a similar question about how to get client work, how to get started as a freelance illustrator. And to all others who have asked me the same question on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, this is for you. So freelance illustration, that is what I do full-time. I do lots of client work for board games, magazines, boring marketing stuff, all sorts of different things. It really varies. It's not just comic work. That's more of stuff I do on the side, personally for my own projects, and occasionally for clients as well. So how to get client work. I believe there's certainly lots of ways to get client work, but there are definitely 2 things that I have noticed in my own experience were incredibly beneficial for getting me client work. Now, I have to start by saying that I've been doing this for 6 years, and this year is like the first year that has been steady and stable. What? It's been a long drudge, budge through the mud. Not everybody's experience is going to be like that unless you follow my path. So I'm going to tell you my path so you don't follow my path. Hopefully we can learn together from it. I'll tell you what worked for me and what was a poor choice for me. First of all, when I got started, I thought I could just jump right into freelance illustration as a career and just get going. I had no connections with clients, very few connections with other artists, most of which I had only made while going to school for a short period of time to get an associate's and partway into a bachelor's. I really wasn't there for very long, but I made a few connections with other illustrators that have been meaningful, and I'm glad I made those connections, both for personal reasons and for career reasons. But I really just didn't have a lot of connections to begin with, which was a huge mistake. So my number one lesson learned is don't jump into freelance illustration. I would highly suggest you get into an industry of some kind that you're interested in, or just work a normal job somewhere. I don't know, Walmart or Target, or something that will help you to pay the bills while you do what is needed to make connections with other people and begin to build a desire in others to hire you as an illustrator. Posting online what you're working on, being present in social media is a great tool, and I was doing that in the beginning, and I thought that was enough, but really you need to make connections, personal connections with people as well. I think that's incredibly valuable. Almost easily 90% of all the work I get is because of somebody I have made a personal connection with in some way or through somebody else. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you, basically. It's about making good connections, established relationships that are not just needy relationships where you're taking and taking and taking, but you give as well, if not more than you take. So to begin with, my most of my clients were contacts that my father had created as an advertiser. So he ran his own advertising business for years. When he retired, he shot out an email to his clients and said, "I'm not doing advertising anymore, but if you need illustration services, my son is an illustrator. Here's his information." And that resulted in a few good clients, but not enough in the beginning, right? You can't just rely on somebody else to get you clients. But that was a good beginning. That was a connection through my father that he had made, which then I was able to benefit from. And in turn, those connections, though few in the beginning, slowly cascaded into additional connections. As I did work for those clients, they enjoyed what I was doing and shared my information with other people they knew that needed illustration work as well. Connections with other people. I think valuable way to make connections is I've enjoyed going to Comic-Con. I've made connections there that have resulted in good work. Doing something like an artist group that you belong to of other people who are doing illustration or art as a living, or other people who are in that industry that you can connect with on that level. So make connections, meaningful connections. Second thing that I have learned that has been very valuable is to work on a project. To have something you're creating that people will then see and say, "Oh, I want him to do that same thing for me." So I try and do comic work on the side, mini comics and little stories like that, and that always ends up piquing other people's interests, and they contact me wanting me to do that similar work for them. So, contacts, share the projects you're working on, put it out there, let people know who you are, and find a way to make money while the demand for your services builds. Learn from me, my dear children. Do not take lightly these words. I have no idea what I was doing there. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. In case you're wondering, this character is some concept art for a comic I'm currently developing called Percival Pundragon, which you may or may not be familiar with. If you want to see more behind-the-scenes content for that comic and support YouTube videos like this, go on over to my Patreon, patreon.com/CamKendell, KENDELL. Thanks again for watching. Leave comments in the comments place and likes on the like place and share it with everybody in the world.